head, and then all of a sudden behind me, I notice on one of my turns, a little girl has skated out in front of me, and I'm at top speed. So I come around on the next one, I bow out, and I literally bypass the girl. My feet go straight up in the air, my head comes down first at top speed, my body hits the ground, and my job is to save the girl above my head. She comes back down on my head, and I got pop, pop.
Oh no.
I was up in 2 seconds, and cerebral spinal fluid was coming out of my ears.
Oh, gross.
In that moment, I started swelling in the brain, and it got worse. And I totally understand things that if you just said that I resonate, I'm like, wow. So God bless you, because you're doing the right thing too.
Thank you.
A week later, and we didn't have what's called concussion protocol at the time. So my coach is basically, you got to get it back out on the ice, and got to get training again because we have nationals the next week. Go to the national championships, skating pretty good. Kind of messed up, I'm not gonna lie. I messed up in the head, but I got hit again right here on the cheek, and the scar, like Harry Potter, sticks out when I get tired. So that was on a quad twist. My wife and I are known for pushing the envelope, and I toss her about 17 feet in the sky.
What?
That's me, that's what I do. But I also am known to set the girls down really gentle and take good care of them. They're my China doll. Over time, that last pop, a week later, I went from 197 in weight to 263 over the next 3 weeks.
Wow.
I went cytotoxic and my brain started shutting down. I lost my tongue function. I lost my whole right side feeling. So it gives you an idea of what started happening, but it was a little bit more of a slow progression, and I was diagnosed with a thing called cerebellum ataxia. I don't know if that was correct in the diagnosis in the end, but I had gone to a bunch of different doctors around North America. Being on a world team, I was allowed to do that, and the doctors tried to take good care of me. So we're gonna bypass 20 years from my head to my toes, from this part of my spine, right at my, right here, down to my knee, I feel nothing. It's like touching wood.
Wow.
My foot, down at the bottom, I feel it tingle, but there's no real sensation. Who was the person that was talking about their foot? The video that we watched earlier, right? So I don't feel the bottom of my foot. So my best buddy, he's 3-time world champion, 2-time Olympic silver medalist, 6-time Canadian champion, Elvis Stoico. And he tells my wife, he's like, hey, I got something for Sean, but don't tell him, but I'm gonna give you these socks. But don't tell him, I'm gonna do it like an hour from now. And he's gonna be coming in because I was working on, he has 114 acres and we build dirt bike tracks. I'm 46, still building dirt bike tracks. And here I am out in the bush, like riding around doing my stuff, and I come in and I'm like, I'm starving, and he has 3 beautiful dogs. And I sit down on the floor with him, and I sit there and I'm like playing with the dogs. He comes walking around, and he's like, hey dude, I've got these large socks. Just throw them on and see if they fit you, because I'm a medium, and yeah, just let me know. So I put them on, and I'm like, oh, those are cool. I play with the dogs. 3 minutes later, I look at my foot. My foot's tingling. And all of a sudden, I hear his wife, my wife, and Elvis start, we knew it was gonna work, we knew it. I hadn't felt my foot in 20 years. So I know I'm a clean athlete, always have been. I've never taken drugs because it was hard to get an Advil across my lips because of being on Olympic team for drug testing. And I just know my body really well for all the damage I put it through all my life. But as soon as I put those on, I was like, I'm convinced. I was like, wow. So 2 days later, I go to the head office, which is in Mississauga, Ontario. And I meet Jay, the gentleman that everybody talks about, and another man named Dannon, and they welcome me in. And I tell them the whole story I just told you. And they start doing the Voxx life test on me. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fall over. And then they push me over just like you did, and I love what you did. And you become Superman all of a sudden, or Supergirl. So I'm like, okay, I'm totally into this. Then they start telling me about the future technology and things that are to come. And I'm like, I could adapt this to my kids. So first thing I did, you guys, my daughter was I want to say 2.5 at the time. So they had a beautiful office, and she's literally jumping all over the furniture. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna do something with my daughter. Do you have small socks? And they're like, no, no, no. Well, me being the figure skater, I'm like, well, I'm gonna put some socks on her anyway. So I buy a pair of socks, and I literally cut out the little patch. And I literally two-sided tape on the insole of her figure skate at 2 years old. All the coaches are out on the ice. Signy starts flying around, and she's 2. You're not supposed to fly around on the ice like that. Then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, that's working for her. This is pre-insole, like for kid size, right? This is my own jalopy. And here she is flying around. Now my daughter, 5 years old now, is using it every single day. So I started adapting it to my kids. So I try not to take up a lot of your time, but my goal in life is to bring up kids and teach them how to go through sport and succeed through sport without drugs, without pain and injury or minimizing that, but at the same time, let them go beyond where people are today. Because we always have the ability to go up and adapt and overcome and improvise. And it's really important for those kids to know that they can push higher. But if it's working for the kids, it works for the older people too, which is